You guys, it's Inktober day 1, and I'm already breaking the rules. So I am making a print, but I'm using ink to print it instead of technically a drawing. Although I did make a drawing, and then I transferred the drawing from here onto here, and then I inked the drawing on here. So technically, the Inktober thing is satisfied. I made a drawing, I inked a drawing. Now I'm just going to carve everything away and use more ink to make a print. So technically it's like super inked, but I do this in a sketchbook mainly because when you lay it like this and you burnish the other side of this paper, so if I were to flip it over, it makes a mirror image. So when you're working in printmaking, you have to always be cognizant of the mirror image. So this will make a print that looks exactly like this instead of making it look like this. So this is my positive. This is what I want my image to look like. This is my negative. When I make a print, it's going to make a fully inked print that looks like my positive. Although I was sketching in pencil here, but like this takes graphite really well. Like if you wanted to draw straight on here, a ton of people do it that way. It's just harder for me to think in mirror image. A lot of times I want my print to look an exact certain way because that's how I mean for my art to look. And in this case, to get that exact image, I like to kind of flip it over, and I like to work in the mirror. So let's get into that. I got a couple new little carver things. That is sharp. So I'm excited to put these to good use. So really quick, I'm going to talk about the tools I'm using. I am using a speedball carver and speedball carving nibs for pretty much all of this. I really like this carver. I really like how it sits in my hand. There are different sizes and shapes of carvers, so if you're looking to getting into this, it's just kind of going to be a trial and error. I do also have some really cheap ones that I think I picked up at Hobby Lobby, maybe Michael's, about 5 years ago. That are about the size of a pencil, and they just have one nib on each one that some people might prefer. They were in the wood tools section. You can use tools that you would use for wood carving on linoleum. So that's really useful because sometimes wood carving tools are a little bit harder or easier to find than linoleum carving tools. I'm using Blick Gray linoleum. I think it's called the Battleship linoleum to do my carving. If you're new to making relief carvings to do printmaking with, this is a good place to start. Wood carving and making woodblock prints will give you about the highest level of detail from my understanding, but linoleum is a little bit easier to carve into, and there are other things like Speedy Carve that are even easier to carve into. And you want to be careful how you carve, because as you can see right here, I was doing something I shouldn't have done, and I was carving towards my hand. You never want to carve towards your body or your hand because your carving tools can slip and cut you. So if you do start carving, I know I do have a bad habit of carving towards my hand a lot, but I'm just going to be kind of a little bit hypocritical and say don't do it for your own safety. A few weeks ago, and I'll link this down below, I did a unicorn painting that looked pretty similar to this unicorn. And I just really loved how the painting turned out, so I wanted to do a print, and I wanted to do a few fairy tale inspired prints anyway. And I just really, I actually really liked how this print turned out. And I'm going to be printing it in just a minute, and you'll get to see that too. And for that, I'm also using Blick products. I'm using their black water-based printing ink. I find this printing ink to be a pretty good consistency that allows me to get really nicely inked prints over and over again. I knew if I was going to do a fairy tale series that I would want to include a unicorn in it because I find them to be symbols of hope and peace and gracefulness, and I just find them to be really charming, and plus it is a symbol of Scotland, and I love Scotland. So I studied abroad there, which is another story, but I love unicorns, and I just had a lot of fun making this piece. So here I am inking, and I'm actually going to leave the background sound in because I like the sound that the roller makes when it moves through the ink. But I use a piece of glass to ink. You can use a piece of acrylic or anything you have that's really non-porous. And once my roller is well inked, I have my piece of linoleum on a piece of cardboard just to protect my countertop. This is actually in my kitchen, so. And I think I had my roller maybe a little bit too heavy with ink for this first print, but I am listening for a specific sound. I took a printmaking class in college, and our professor described it as the ink singing to you once you have it perfect on your roller, but I do have it just a little bit heavier here than perhaps I should, but it still turned out really good, like a really good print, and it wasn't over inked. If you do printmaking, you want to make sure that you have your block evenly coated with the ink, and that's sometimes you might want to go over it a couple of times. Now, I don't have a printing press, so this is actually how they taught us to print in college, was to put your paper on the floor, put your print on top of it, and then put a book on top of that and stand on it. I skipped the standing part so I could just make the video a little bit shorter, but that's what it looks like. And this is my test print. I'm actually going to ink this on the cover of my Inktober sketchbook, but generally you want to do at least one proof to make sure that everything looks how you want it to look. I was really happy with my first go around, but sometimes if I'm not, I will actually go back and recarve out some little spots that I wanted to take off. But here I'm actually inking it to print the cover of my Inktober sketchbook. So my sketchbook is watercolor paper, and it's only 30 pages. So I'm using the new Strathmore Vision, and this has a cover that you design yourself. So I thought that was pretty cool. And if you want to learn more about that particular sketchbook, I'm going to be making 30 pieces of art in it, and I guess I can give you a pretty good review at the end of October. Okay, so this, I just wanted to decorate my cover a little bit further, and that you just saw is actually a wood carving that I did. So that's just a piece of scrap wood. My fiance was making a project, and I got it, and I just carved this flower pattern out of it to make a stamp. So I'm just inking my little wood stamp, and then I'm gonna put that on the cover around the unicorn. Hat, did you come to help? Okay, now, I'm nervous because I can't redo this cover. Ooh, did that turn out good? What do you think, Mel? So you might be curious, I do have two cats. They're twins. They look exactly alike, almost. That's Millie. Hattie was here a minute ago. Ooh, I like that. So, that, and I'll take a better picture of it to insert at the end. But this is Inktober Day 1 and the cover of my book. Okay, so I have actually come out to my balcony because I'm going to spray this with a little bit of art finish. So this is a matte finish. I really like it. It's non-glossy, non-yellowing, moisture resistant, and it dries really quick. The reason I want to spray this is because this is a water-based ink and not an oil-based ink, and therefore it's going to be more prone to damage. And since this is the cover of the sketchbook, I would like it to be pretty hardy. I won't be spraying like the interior stuff, but for the cover. Also, like, we have a pretty good view. There's the bay. That little dock was damaged by Hurricane Harvey, but overall, pretty nice. So I'm just going to spray that really quick. And this is a close-up of how my piece turned out. I really like how this turned out, and I'm really excited to make a couple prints, maybe to hang on my wall or give as gifts. And thank you so much for watching my first Inktober, where I kind of sort of broke the rules. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're doing Inktober, let me know what you did for Inktober Day 1 down in the comments, and I hope that you are having good luck with Inktober as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.